Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Trader Victoria Real Estate Show. It is Thursday, August 14th, and I'm Andrew Plank with the Vibe Collective and Royal LePage. And today, as often and as usual, we have with us.
I'm Jane Johnston. I'm with the Bar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, and we have.
Jen Lowe, mortgage broker with Dominion Lending Centers, Modern Mortgage Group. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too. Hope everybody's getting a good summer in. It feels like things are slowing down a little bit. So I certainly have had, I was actually able to get out to the lake and get on my paddleboard and feel like I was a bit of a actual human being, and not just a real estate machine. So that was good. How about you guys?
Uh, Good. I have. I spent a little bit of time at Shawnigan Lake. Hopefully, we have some time this week coming up. So, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, it's been nice. I was just thinking what a nice summer it's been for holidaying. Probably not great for
Mhm.
fires, which is what's triggering today's conversation a bit. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk a little bit, and it's really a PSA, just going to talk a little bit about insurance, remind people to get their insurance in place and some of the things they might want to consider. It is summertime. Let's keep it simple and give everybody back their time. But yeah, we'll get into it. So um, before we get into the insurance topic, we're going to get our mortgage update as usual. Jen is giving a little shake there. She's excited to get into it. Exciting. We're going to get a really exciting mortgage update from Jen Lowe.
Oh my God. Stop,
Oh,
you
yes.
guys. Stop.
Yes. Well, it's so exciting. Well, because there's not really nothing's really changed. I mean, August is usually pretty quiet.
Hmm.
However, we are in a pretty data sensitive time with in Canada here, we had a very weak job market. The unemployment holdings is at 6.9%, but the hiring numbers are very disappointing. So what does that mean for upcoming Bank of Canada rate announcement coming September 17th? We'll have to see, as inflation is being watched very closely as well, and
Right.
that could affect whether or not there's going to be a rate hike or not coming in September.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
A rate
Thank you,
hike.
Jen.
Or pardon
Shit.
me, not a rate hike, a rate
Ooh.
decrease. Wake up.
I'm listening. Just so you know, I'm
Yeah,
listening.
Yeah, good catch there, Jane. And
thank you.
we all do this. So people call us on this too. We might be saying one thing and it just happens.
Meaning
These are
another.
little words, little
Yes.
mind
Whew.
mind
Nice,
things.
nice.
Okay,
Thanks for
so
that.
yeah, good catch. All right, so back to the topics at hand. What happened here? So we're going to go into our also just before we hit on our topic, we're going to just really briefly recap what happened in the last week. So in the last week, 266 new properties went live on MLS. And that's a little up from the 218 the week before. We had 134 properties go pending, again up somewhat from the week before. 146 price decreases, again up from the week before. So although we have more listings, more properties going pending, although the ratio between those two, it looks like, um, are a little bit wider. If you look to the blue ones, 218 versus 120, versus 266 to 134, I think we would argue that less properties are going pending versus the new listings, even though there was a spike on both weeks. And that speaks to maybe why people, I guess, in summer, maybe getting a little more motivated and reducing price. Any comments, you guys, on this?
Well, it's about 50% for a new listing depending last week, and this week it is, hold on. It looks more optimistic to me.
Oh, more optimistic. Interesting. Okay.
What, 218, hold on a second,
I think I think we
218 divided
actually
by.
have that stat here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
55%. So yeah, so it's
Okay.
55%. So we're doing better this week.
Okay, so I stand corrected. I was looking at the numbers but not catching the actual ratio properly. So 50.38 list to sale ratio versus 55.05 the week before. That's an improvement. Jen, everything okay?
Sorry. Yeah, just people are
Oh,
trying
okay.
to buy me a coffee, but
Take it.
yeah.
Sorry,
Take it.
for the month of
Don't turn down a coffee.
For the month of August, we have 169 net unconditional sales so far this month compared to 545 for August of 2024. We have 340 new listings, so that's low, and it feels low compared to last year still. So last year we had 1,043, so we are definitely on the lower end. Although I expect as people start coming back from holidays that things will pick up. And then total active listings were at 3,607. That's compared to 3,191 for last year. So
Yeah.
the listings are increasing.
Yeah, they've been sticking around. Well, they've been sticking around that high 3,000 mark, and it doesn't look like they're going to hit that 4,000 mark, thankfully. And but yeah, we had a long weekend, and we've had these stats came out as of Monday, so we're definitely it definitely feels low as well, but it's not as bad as it sounds when you look at these numbers. We still have the rest of the month to not catch up, but to increase this number.
Do you mind
Jen.
just going back to the last slide, because I was distracted there with someone buying me a coffee, which is lovely. With this one, so this week the stat is better because 50% of properties that are listed are selling versus last week 55%.
Yeah, last week was better. Last week was better at
Last
55.
week was better. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so it's sales versus listings, not listings versus sales.
Yes.
So
okay.
the more sales per listing, the better. Hang on. So
if you list now, you have a 50% chance, whereas last week you had 55%.
55%.
Yeah. So last week was better.
So it's kind of like a rate hike.
It's kind of like if you were to go and look at 10 properties, if you were to pick 10 properties last week, 5.5 would have sold. This week, 5 would have sold.
5.
So there's more choice. So what that does is it puts downward pressure on pricing because now people have more choice.
Yeah. Correct.
Alrighty. So what's going on with insurance, you guys? I don't know if you saw a picture I took last night. Did you? Shall I show it to you? This was crazy. So
let's see the picture.
I was standing at let me just get it.
I can report something I posted to my social media when we were up in my partner and I were up in Comox Valley last weekend. So we were driving past Parksville, and during the day coming up over the hills, we're passing Parksville, and up in the distance we could just see smoke coming off the mountains, and the various you could see the sections of the wildfires. You couldn't see the fire, but you could see smoke, and it was just, it was very just visceral in your visceral feeling of, oh my gosh, like look at this is Vancouver Island on fire. And a wildfire can start anywhere, anytime. There was that's a beautiful shot.
Hold on, keep going.
Do you want me? I'll put you on full screen here. Let's put you on full screen.
So this was yesterday, so you can see the line of the smoke.
Right.
And the sun glowing orange. Yeah.
That's what the sky looked like before. And then the smoke was just taking over.
Yeah.
It was
Is that
really
smoke
scary.
from fires in Washington, or is that smoke from fires on the island?
This was looking west towards Souk.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Which it shows
Well,
up
again,
here.
so just a reminder to folks that, insurance companies don't want to insure something that's already higher risk. And when you make an agreement to purchase a home and then haven't yet put insurance in place, there might be insurance from the sellers. They may already have insurance on it, but you want to put your own insurance on it, obviously, when you own it. And the lender is not going to lend you money, of course, unless that asset is protected. Jen is nodding her head in agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important to have insurance in place, but at the same time, there's a lot of insurers are not going to provide insurance when there's a wildfire within 50 kilometers of your home.
So it happened last year at Souk Potholes. Remember?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
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 So
So
I've seen some people posting stuff that they don't agree with, people not being allowed into parks to camp and stuff like that. But the issue is the
search and rescue can only be spread so far, and it's not fair to them to go after people if the winds change or if this situation is really dangerous. So don't do that to people. Yeah.
No. Well, wasn't the Cameron Lake fire, wasn't it human caused?
Yes. Yeah, there's two of them now, and they were both human caused, I believe.
Right.
Which, yeah. So
same with the one
that's
in Newfoundland. Sorry.
I mean, most fires now, I guess, I mean, there's a lot of fires that are nature caused, often lightning strikes and so forth. But I suppose a small little landslide or something, a rock running down a hill could chip another rock, and that's how, just hit the rocks together, guys, and start a spark. But I don't know. Yeah, a lot of nature, like fires have always happened, but now we have more. And again, insurance companies aren't going to lend. So that's the main thing. Also, we have an atmospheric river coming our way. Going to be a lot of rain in the next few days. Insurance, talk to your insurance company if you have questions about coverage, because not everything around water gets covered. Certain backups and things you want to make sure you're in control of. But the main thing that kind of caught my attention that I thought was pretty interesting was that that in the last few years, insurance has actually really spiked for strata properties. Because of the number of floods that were happening on high-rise buildings, and you have a flood in a high-rise building, and it goes down from floor to floor to floor to floor, and you're replacing drywall, you're replacing hardwood flooring, you're replacing all of these really expensive elements. The insurance companies had started denying coverage or raising their rates or really raising their deductibles. So this was a surprise to me to see this this article about there being a soft insurance market and premiums are falling for some BC stratas. This is really welcome news, because we've seen strata fees, which part of those go towards covering insurance, really skyrocket over the last couple of years. And this is a really good news for some strata owners, and a nice thing to see. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I just want to see your faces, your lovely faces. I'm just wondering if, when you are looking at mortgaging for a person in a condo, do you look at what the deductibles are for each of the items? Like, I always look and see what the deductible is for water, because it tells me if it's $100,000 that they've had a lot of water issues. If it's 10,000, it's different. It depends. It's a response to what's been happening within the condo itself.
Yeah.
I guess says no.
From Jen?
Yeah.
Or from me? Yeah.
I don't see the insurance, but I always make sure that as part of removing your financing condition, have you got an insurance quote, and can you get insurance?
From the lender's perspective, Jen, does the insurer will be looking to confirm that the strata Corporation itself has insurance. they
Yes.
don't care so much about the actual individual insurance because that's generally contents and liability when it comes to strata. Do they or don't they?
It depends on the lender. For the most part, no. The client is not required to have content insurance. No,
Uh-huh.
no.
Okay.
But the lender does review the insurance for the strata.
Yes,
Okay.
I get asked that a lot. So I had a client who was on the top floor, and her what happened was the fire smoke detector thing went off.
Mhm.
They're not sure what caused it. Somebody thought maybe they'd hit it, but they think that maybe it was just faulty. So it just burst. That where that red thing is between the sprinkler.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't a detector, it was the actual sprinkler, and those
Yeah,
sprinklers are heat sensitive. They have a little red capsule that when it gets to a certain temperature, it collapses or explodes or deteriorates, and then that pushes the pin down, and then water can spray out.
Oh,
And then once that starts happening, it's pretty hard to stop it.
yeah. So these people were lying in bed and the sprinkler went off and it went down. And what happens is the water goes down 4 flights
Yeah.
because she was on the fourth floor.
oh my goodness.
So everybody was flooded out. Yeah. And it's not only the cost of what it is for insurance. So they then had to do a review of all the sprinkler system of the whole building.
Yeah.
And there have been cases where those sprinklers have failed, but there was also a lot of negativity in the building towards them, thinking it was their fault that their sprinkler
Yeah.
had broken.
Yeah. 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 This is a bit of a different story, but I had a client buying a townhouse. It was just one level building, but there'd been a company up in the attic of the neighbor's building doing some work on insulation, and they were walking over the rafters, but somehow there was I guess the pipes for the sprinklers, somehow one of the sprinklers had gotten kicked or a pipe had gotten stepped on, and for whatever reason it broke, and water flooded the neighboring unit and also got into my client's unit, which we were going to be closing on in a couple of weeks' time. And suddenly you've got remediation companies and so on and so forth. We've gone a little bit off of insurance, but this is, water causes problems. And then, yes, the insurance companies do step in to repair and so forth, but you've got a client who needs to move into their place and it's not move. There was a race to make it move in ready at that point.
So it does speak to when you get your insurance in a strata to maybe consider getting it with the same company as the building insurance, because then you don't have a fight between insurance companies with that in common property or limited common property, or where did the effect happen. It's just something I
Yeah.
talk to my clients with, that
I give, I, yeah, same advice, and also works for single family homes. If the seller has a certain insurance company they're working with, if you work with the same insurance company, let's say a fire starts, God forbid, a fire starts on the day you're supposed to close, before closing, and there's damage that begins, and nobody can really say on which side of ownership it happened. You don't want
yeah.
two companies fighting over who's responsible. Or let's say there was an ongoing problem, like some sort of water problem that started a leak that started at 11 p.m. and finished at 1 p.m. There was damage on either side of ownership, because ownership is considered to have changed at 12:01 a.m. That's when risk comes in. So really, really a good idea to talk to the same insurance company. For that, I mean, it's a small chance, but it's also the area where, especially with a vacant home, you don't want to be in the argument about who's responsible for what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What stories do you have, Jen?
Well, I have a few. Recently, issues, clients. I mean, we were talking Poly B insurance. There was a situation where Poly B is not covered under the strata.
Poly B is a type of plumbing, folks.
Yes. Thank you, Andrew. So the client had to get her own insurance for any poly B issues, even though it was under a strata.
Was it in the View Street condos?
No,
Okay.
Central Saanich area. Yeah. So that's something I'd never dealt with before. Now we ended up, anyways, it was a unique situation that then I now have a contact of someone that has lots of experience in dealing with buildings or residences that have poly B.
Send us that contact information, please.
Yes,
So,
will do.
Yeah, my home is full of poly B as well, and we bought it knowing that at the time it wasn't as big an issue, and this is a thing that's evolved over time. And one of the things people should understand is that, you know, today's non-issue is tomorrow's issue sometimes. But the insurance company we have, they do have a higher deductible for the poly B. And by the way, BCAA still does seem to insure poly B if you're looking for an insurer. But we will have a higher deductible for any issues related to our plumbing. So I want to go back to something Jane said earlier when she reviews and when we look at a strata corporation, when we were helping a buyer buying in a strata, she mentioned that she looks at these strata deductibles. One of the clues you can look at is it a high deductible? Does that mean, is that an indication that the insurance company is aware of a higher risk and so they are mitigating that by raising that fee? One thing that buyers can do is they can buy down that deductible by buying additional insurance. And it's something worth considering and looking into for sure.
Yeah, so you buy an insurance policy for the insurance deductible. So in the case of the View Street condo, it was $100,000 deductible. So she got insurance on that. And so it was like $5 a month. Yeah.
That's a small amount when you've got such a big deductible potential problem. So well,
actually, just one thing, I guess, have we squeezed that lemon enough? Is that what you're going to ask?
I was going to ask, yes.
So I did ask the question of agents across Canada about poly B. And it was interesting because the Alberta agents consider it to be a latent defect and has to be disclosed, and not in BC. So I was surprised. I mean, I usually, if I have a listing, I'll disclose it, that it's there, and so that it's out in the open and dealt with, and it's not a surprise. It's like aluminum wiring. Like you can mitigate with poly B with brass fittings, but whether or not the insurance company is going to accept that or not depends on the insurance company. Some don't consider it a big deal, and others do. But
I think it's a good idea to do research and talk to a plumber. And, remember, number one, we're talking about insurance, but we're not insurance experts. We're talking about plumbing. We're not plumbing experts. These are just breadcrumbs for you to follow deeper if you want. But poly B, and I'll speak to my understanding of poly B, is in Alberta with the harder water, potentially, it was the hard water or a different chemicals make up to the water that caused the plastic to react and become more brittle. Whereas less chance of that happening here. Definitely the copper fittings helped it to last longer. It was the failure point was often those plastic clips. But as time goes on, it will just get brittle, just like anything gets brittle. And maybe even our currently approved PEX piping in 100 years will also be ready for failure, or 50 years, or whatever it is.
Well, even brass or copper, like there are pinhole leaks that happen in those. There is a system, by the way, called High Tech, which one of my clients actually is a representative in Victoria, and he sells to the Strata Corporation. It's just a water treatment, and what it does is it takes out the particulates in the water that we don't even know are there. And what that does is it stops the wear and tear. It actually coats the inside of the pipes so that they last longer. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Huh. So, okay. So must be, you have to run the water for, interesting. I'm curious about that. Maybe we could get some more information on that and do a topic on it in future, have a guest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So have we squeezed that lemon?
I'm fully squeezed. Anybody else?
Insurance, yeah, insurance.
All right.
It was a really exciting topic. So there was this Times Colonist article about, and it's called "Soft Insurance Market Causing Premiums to Fall for Some BC Strata Corps." I think it's a little late to put it into our comments, but you can Google it and find it. And just good news for people who are doing strata. Okay, so thanks, folks, for coming and listening and being here and taking your time. If you like what you hear, please do like our channel. If you really like it, please subscribe so you don't miss any updates. We would love your feedback, so please comment and please share. Share with anyone you think might benefit from what we have to say. We look forward to seeing you next week and every week. So thanks for watching.
And how do people reach you, Andrew?
Well, you can reach me at on my cell. It's a direct line, 250-360-6106. That's a phone or text. You can email me, info@andrewplank.com, and you can come through the website and there's a contact field there, andrewplank.com.
All right. And Jen?
I am at 250-217-4925, and my email is jen@jenlowe.ca. Website is jenlowe.ca.
All right. And if you want to reach me when I don't look like this, my number is 250-744-0775. My email's BriarHillGroup or jane@briarhillgroup.com. And my website is briarhillgroup.com. And you can always follow me on Instagram at realtyteacher_remax_Victoria. And I did post that picture of the fire. It was crazy. All
you
right.
look great today, Jane. You too, Jen.
Oh, thanks. You too.
Thank you.
You guys, we'll see you next Thursday at 9:30. And who's hosting?
Okay. Jen will host
No.
next week.
Yes.
Jen's hosting, so
Right.
she's going to pick the topic. I can't wait
We'll
to
go
hear
with
about
that.
it.
Okay.
Okay. See ya.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.